technology adding to the empowerment of the disabled people, it seems that in some cases, or in some cases, if not most cases, and here I am referring to websites and internet. Now, honestly, it didn't occur to me, because I was given to understand that, I mean, if I put it very simply, and as a layperson, that computer was accessible to blind people thanks to the voice enabled technology. And I mistakenly thought that it automatically applied to websites also. But it was only 2 or 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when we had that discourse, that we realized that a website is not automatically disabled friendly or accessible unless it is based on the basic tenets of what are called the W3CG guidelines. And then when you realize that India being India, and India being the so-called information giant, and being on the information highway and all that we claim, that at that time not even one of our public domain websites, not even one of the 5,000 government websites was accessible. You actually sit back and you actually just wonder what is going on in this country. And then when research took place, we realized that by and large, I mean, except I think for the social sector, or for very, very few organizations which were aware and have cared to ensure that their websites are W3CG compliant, majority of the websites, whether in the government domain or in the private domain. So, and I'm aware that I'm talking to a very enlightened audience here, and whatever that I'm saying, you already know. In fact, majority of you are leaders of this discourse, but I'm still saying it in the hope that if there is even that one person here who didn't know this or doesn't know this, or if members of the media are present, then it is a discourse which has to be initiated, which has to be continued, which has to be repeated again and again and again until it's all done. And it is not done yet, in spite of the fact that we have been talking about it for the last so many years. So why is it that we are creating websites which are inaccessible? Why is it that today I can sit in front of a computer in spite of being a wheelchair user, and at the click of a button I can buy a movie ticket, I can book a plane ticket, I can book my train ticket, I can file my passport application, my income tax returns, but my print impaired friend or visually impaired friend can't do that. And then moving on from the so-called serious issues, or the seemingly serious issues of textbooks and websites, to what may seem frivolous to some. And I'm now very quickly coming to the current theme of this tech share, which is gaming and etc., entertainment. Why should it be seen as frivolous? Why is watching a movie or watching television or playing games not as much a right of a disabled person as it is of any other person? I mean, I have young nephews and I have seen other children, and I can see, or young adults. I was myself a young adult until last year, I think. And I am fully well aware as to how much of a joy it gives any person, for that matter, young or old, to have access to such things. And in India, for God's sake, I mean, today, if I was to think that, any say visually impaired friend of mine was to go to a PVR or to any supposedly topmost cinema theater, and to expect the same that is easily available in a country like, say, UK or other parts of what I call the civilized world, because I don't think now there is a distinction between the so-called developed world or the developing world or the third world or the underworld. I think now the distinction should be between the civilized world and the uncivilized world. And I think this discourse is also equally important to shake up a few people and to wake up a few minds. Why should that not be the case? I mean, you have got, what is it called? Gold class. I mean, you go to a gold class And you see the luxury, leather seats and push buttons and service at your seat. And I mean, so somebody has that money power in this supposedly impoverished nation to be creating all those facilities, to have those polished floors, to have that granite, to have all those, fantastic things. But why would somebody not invest on a couple of seats to ensure that a visually impaired person is also able to enjoy that particular movie as fully and as completely as another person? Or say the case of the deaf people. And I'm consciously bringing another disability in, and I will be closing very shortly, because I also don't want this discourse to be limited only to the blind, because that's often a mistake that is made, that people think that's all about only the blind. And as one of you very correctly pointed out, that discourse had to grow wider from mere blindness to what we now refer to as print impairedness. But the only point I'm making and flagging is that it's not only a particular community or a group of people, but a much larger, a much wider community of disabled people across this country and across the world who need this discourse and who need that policy change. Talking of deaf people, television. I mean, till today, as we speak, there is that one news bulletin once a week, a capsule of, I think, 15 minutes on Doordarshan, which is there in sign language. And forget sign language, even there's a term for it. I mean, the scroll, the captions. Yeah, thank you. The captioning is still I would say not even a discourse. I mean, except for a very few limited people in the disability movement, I don't think the discourse has reached the Information Broadcasting Ministry or the headquarters of the so-called, television giants that we have. And what bothers me and what makes me angry, and I think what should bother each one of us, and we should take it up very firmly, is that these very same television houses, the very same Zee Television and NDTV and Star, the whole Star family, all of them, when they telecast to their civilized nation audiences, so the very same serial from Zee or from Star, when telecast to the US or to one of those countries, is caption enabled, because that's the law in that country. Because you cannot get business if you do not do that. The same NDTV. But when they do it in India, all that civility, all that law, all that policy is completely forgotten. So in closing, who is guilty? Where is the problem? And where do we start with? I would say that at the end of the day, the responsibility rests with the government and with the concerned ministries. And therefore, I think it's unfortunate that in spite of Shilpi breaking, I think, every bone in her body, I mean, as it is, she's so frail and mostly nerve-wracked. But for the last how many, I think, months in general and weeks in particular, I don't think a single relevant ministry is represented. Except, of course, one solitary lone soldier that we have, and that's Dr. Govind. And sir, I salute you, for finding the time to be here. For those of you who may not know, Dr. Govind is from the information technology ministry, and has been a great friend of the community, and has been, I think, the power behind some of the changes, some of the very few changes that we have been able to bring. And when we were able to get the website policy not implemented is another story, but at least the policy is there. Then we became a little ambitious, and we said, okay, now let's go for the larger electronics policy. And some of us worked extremely hard on it, and it's absolutely ready. Comments from all the ministries have been received. Most of those comments have been addressed. The complete policy is ready for the signature of the minister. And I'm told that the only thing that is holding back is the feedback or the green signal of that one ministry, that one unfortunate ministry, which is also referred to as the nodal ministry, and which I was to take the name, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So the ministry which is supposed to be the nodal ministry, the ministry which is supposed to be the Mai-Baap of the disabled people of this country, the Karta-Dharta of the disabled people of this country, has not found time to review that about 10-15 page policy. 6 pages only. So our Joint Secretary, our Minister do not have the time to look at it, give feedback, to give the green signal, so that the Ministry of IT can go ahead and notify it. Well, such is our fate, such are our challenges, but there are some in this country who do not give up. Shilpi Kapoor is one of them, and the group of people in this auditorium, I think, is one of those. So let's not get bogged down by the negatives or by the challenges. Let's all once again reaffirm that we will continue to work together, and we'll continue to take on these new subjects, these new topics, and have the discourse not only limited to the India Habitat Center, but beyond the center to the whole of Delhi and in turn to the whole of India. Thank you very much, and all the very best.
Thank you, Javed. I would at this point like to seriously appreciate Dr. Govind also personally. I think the support we've had from Dr. Govind has gone a long way. And I do hear that Social Justice Ministry is planning or has nearly about sent in their comments, and we hope that it will now go forward. I'd also just like to add to what Javed said and just highlight that there is accessible movies being shown in the gaming zone. There is captioning, there is audio description. And as Javed said, there are Indian movies that are released in the UK, but are not released in India with audio description or with captioning. So we do have a large gap. And having Stephen here, also RNIB doing a lot of work in that, I think we need to see how we need to do this in India. And each of us needs to be raising our voice. When it comes to the websites, I think we need to be raising our voice. We need to be saying we want accessible websites. We don't need to be sitting quietly in this room. With that, I'd like to also remind you all to get to the gaming zone and play games. Each of you can play a game. And some of them are really fun. We have right from the Kinect down to the iPhone and the iPad, down to PC gaming. And some of it is free. A lot of it is free to download. So go and have fun. And with that, I think we come to technology, something that we couldn't live without, something that I believe will change the day.